Hi y'all, my name is Jennifer. If y'all don't know me as Jennifer, y'all might know me as Angry Bird, and I'll be addressing the whole situation that happened between me, Danny Lux, and his ex-girlfriend. So let's get started. Hey y'all, so I'm gonna start off by how I knew about him. So I knew him because of this one song, and I don't know if I was the one that followed him or he's the one that followed me, but we used to follow each other back then, like 2 years ago. And no, he didn't have a girlfriend by that time. But we used to follow each other, but then our accounts got disabled, so we stopped following each other from there. So then I'm gonna bring up my homeboy because he plays a big role in this whole situation. So I was going through a breakup at the time. Like, I was depressed. Like, I really didn't went out like that. I used to fucking stay inside and just fucking cried. But I seen my homeboy at the Parade of Lights and downtown, and we were just talking about our past relationship because he got out of one too. And then we started texting from there, and then that's when he brought up like, oh, Danny Lux is coming to Dallas, and I didn't know nothing about this. I was like, oh shit, for real. And he had bought 2 tickets, so he had invited me, you know. So I was like, okay, like, I'm down. And for either way, for me, it was like, at least it was a good idea because, you know, I was going through a fucking breakup. So I was like, you know what, let me get my mind off things, you know. So anyways, we went to his concert, and my homeboy knows one of the guys that works for Danny, you know. So they were talking, and then the guy that works for Danny was like, oh, like, I got you with a meet and greet, blah blah blah, to my homeboy. And then yeah, we waited for like the concert to end, and then me and my homeboy, we were just waiting for everyone like to take pictures with Danny so we could go, like, you know. And then we just waited, and then we went. That's when me and Danny Lux had a little conversation, you know. That's when shit went down. Okay, so this is when the little conversation happened. Okay, so I went up to Danny and I was like, oh, hi, nice meeting you. And then he's like, oh, hi, what's your name? And I was like, oh, my name is Jennifer. And then he's like, oh, that's a pretty name. And I knew he was fucking lying because that's the most basic ass name ever. But at the moment, no le puse importancia, you know? Like, it's like the small little details. And then he was like, oh, is that your boyfriend? Like, talking about my homeboy. And I was like, no, he's not my boyfriend. Like, he's just a friend. And he was like, oh, okay. And then that happened. And then I started talking to the other 2 guys, you know. I went to go say hi. And while I was talking to them, my homeboy and Danny Lux was having a whole conversation talking about, like, my homeboy was asking, was like, oh, like, what's some advice you could give me for, like, an upcoming singer, like, you know. And then Danny was like, oh, just DM me and I got you, bro. Like, I got you, blah, 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 you know. And then I started talking to the other 2 guys, you know. And I was like, oh, hi, nice meeting you. And then they were like, oh, hi, like, is that your boyfriend? And I was like, no. And then they were like, oh, that's what they all say. And I was like, bitch, what? And then I was like, no, relationship are just not for me. That's what I said. And then Danny Lux overheard our conversation, and he was like, oh, for real? Like, he was, you know. I was like, at the moment, I really didn't thought nothing from it, even though I should have. But, you know, I just let it slide. But that happened. And then, yeah, and then we just took pictures and we just left. Okay, so this is the part when we were leaving, and then we passed by there, and then we see my homeboy's friend, the one that works with Danny, and then we were just basically like thanking him, like, you know, like, thank you. And then he brought up the fact that they were talking about me, like, you know, Danny Lux and his little 2, and they were like, oh yeah, they were calling you cute, blah blah blah. And I was like, be fucking for real. I'm like, you're fucking lying. At first I didn't believe it because, like, bitch, ¿quién no va a creer, you know? And then he's like, just follow me and I got you, like, I got you, blah blah blah. And I was like what? I'm like, I guess. And then I follow him, and then going back, then that's when los despedimos. We're just like, oh, well, I'll let you go, like, bye bye bye. Bye bye bye, bitch, what? And okay, just like, okay, so basically my homeboy texted Danny, you know, because you know how they had that little conversation, like, Danny said that to, you know, to text him. And Danny Lux responded, and I really didn't, like, no le puse importancia because that's their conversation and they were talking about music. But this is when Danny Lux brought me up, you know. And I can put the screenshot because, like, why would I be lying about this whole situation, you know? So I'm gonna put the screenshot right here. Okay, so yeah, after y'all seen like the screenshot, like, I was shook, you know, no lo creía. I was like, be fucking for real, like, is that fucking real? And that's how we hanged out, even though I should have seen that as a fucking red flag now thinking about it. But that's how we hanged out, because he was texting my homeboy. So we basically met up and we hanged out, and then that's when me and Danny Legs had this one conversation talking about like, oh, why are you doing this for, you know? And that's when he said, I don't know. And she brought it up on her YouTube video, but that was already when me and Danny were already hanging out. So it didn't happen before. It was like already during when we were hanging out. If that makes sense. Okay, y'all, so I was editing the video and I forgot to fucking mention this. I think it got deleted or something. But so we passed numbers when we were hanging out, and he fucking texted me the next morning. And then he brought up his girlfriend, and I was like, oh, so she knows. Like, on my head I was like, she knows. So I just love his message, and I just left him like that. I just left him on scene because I was like, no, I'm not gonna be dealing with this whole thing. Like, it's their relationship, it's not mine. So I was like, yeah. I keep forgetting to mention this, but we went to the store and I took a picture there because I was gonna send it to my group chat of friends. You know, I was like, And that's the picture that she showed y'all. I'm gonna put it right there so y'all can see. Maybe I forgot. Anyways, so yeah, that happened about me and Danny Legs, and I just left it like that. I never answered him, and I found out I had a girlfriend when we were already hanging out. So yeah. Anyways, we're gonna go now, like, address the whole situation, how she found out, because like we gotta clarify some things, how this should happen, because most people were calling me a clout chaser, that I'm doing this for attention, blah blah blah, when it's really nothing like this. Because if I wanted attention, if I wanted clout from it, I would have done expose it like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, when this whole situation happened. Of course, when like these type of situations happen, you're gonna tell some people, and for me, on my situation, I told the wrong people because like how this shit went down. And so I basically told some people. It was on this one group chat, and this is when that group chat, RNC group chat, they went to go text her, and I really thought they were gonna text her. I thought they were just joking. I was like, whatever. And I was at Walmart when this happened, and they were just like blowing up my fucking phone, like blowing up my phone. They were like, Jennifer, like they were mentioning me on the group chat. And they were like, she responded, blah, blah, blah. Like, what do I say? And I was like, just leave it alone. Like, I don't want no drama. Like, I don't want to be dealing with this, you know, type of drama, you know? And I'm going to put the screenshots of the conversation that her and, you know, the people on the group chat were having. And, yeah, I'm going to just put them up here so y'all can see it. Okay, so after y'all seen like the whole conversation between her and my friends, the people in the group chat, she sent my profile pic to Sergio, and that's when she was like, oh, is this her? So she basically, at this point, I don't know how she knew it was me, but she knew it was me. And that's when I was like, oh shit, like what the fuck do I do, you know? And then that's when I showed her the picture on live, because I was live. I went live. But my account, it was my spam account. It was a new account because my last account got disabled at 10K followers. So this is like literally barely new. Like, it didn't have followers at all. And then she was the one commenting on my live, like, oh, send me the picture, show me the picture, show me the picture. Like, she could have texted me separately, like, oh, like, send me the picture, you know, like, you know. So I showed her the picture on live, and she didn't believe it until Danny Lux admitted it, that he, and she didn't believe me because like I showed her that picture and her like, oh, you're just behind him, like that doesn't prove nothing. And I was like, I got some other pictures, and she wanted to see the other pictures, but I was like, no, let me just not send them, like let me just leave it like that. And that's when I guess Danny Lux admitted that he cheated, and that's when she believed it. And she was texting back and forth on the group chat, and she was flirting with the guys, so I don't know why she's like calling them immature when she was like literally flirting back with the guys. Anyways, but going back, that's when I was like, you can just text me separately if you have any fucking questions or anything. And she's like, and then that's when she texted me. I'm gonna show you like the whole conversation. Because she swore up and down that she texted me, but she never texted me. So I showed her the screenshot. I was like, no, I don't see no message here, you know. And then that's when we're texting, and she was calling me, blowing up my phone. Okay, so this is when she called me, and like I was like, I cannot answer your call. Like, if you have any fucking questions, like just text me, because like, bro, like in a Hispanic household, I cannot be on the phone like 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, because like, girl, you're gonna get me in trouble. So I was like, no, like just ask me, like just text me. And that's when she brought up the fact that she wasn't gonna bring it to social media, but like that's the first thing she does. So I'm just like, okay, so this is when she knew like I wasn't gonna answer her call, so she just blocked me. Like, not even like, she didn't even ask her questions, bro. She just blocked me. I was like, okay, I mean, she doesn't want to know the whole story, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. So I was just minding my own business or whatever, and then they started blowing up my phone. They're like, bro, like, she posted you. I was like, what? I thought she wasn't gonna bring it up to social media. And that's when she compared me as an Angry Bird. I was like, and they sent me the screenshot because I couldn't see it because I was blocked. I was like, okay. I mean, I was like, at least she didn't at me or like put my social media out there. But you know how people be, they're pretty fast. So they found my social media pretty quick. I was like, oh. Like the next morning I woke up, I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, so that's pretty it on my whole little story time. It was like, you know, not a lot, but I feel like y'all deserve to know because a lot of people were asking me for it. And yeah, that happened. And one more thing I'm gonna say is that don't be apologizing to your audience talking about like, oh, my intrusive thoughts got to me, but the first thing you do is this.
Oh, not the slingshot.
Anyways, and one more thing too, just to put it out there, no, I'm not pregnant. I'm not. Fuck them kids.